Hello, my name is Kim McGreevy, and I am from the Dixon United Methodist Church, and this is the daily devotional for Friday, September 10th. And again, it's Kids Day. Last week we talked about Joseph, and in fact, I used this little thing to tell us the story of Joseph, Jacob's favorite son and brother to 11 other brothers who wanted to get rid of him. And in fact, when we left the story, we did know that Joseph was Jacob's favorite son. And you'll notice I have here a little bit to help me with the story. I've got Joseph. He was Jacob's favorite son. But the brothers, because of some of the things he had done, wanted to do him in. And in fact, he was sold at the end of last week's story into slavery and purchased, so he was owned by Potiphar, who was the Pharaoh's head captain of the guard. Well, here he is in Egypt, owned by Potiphar, and his master Potiphar saw that he was extremely successful at anything he did, and in fact put him in charge of his entire household. So from this disaster, Joseph is in a pretty good position. But things didn't stay that way. Potiphar's wife liked Joseph and took quite an interest in him and tried to get Joseph to share that interest in her. He would have none of it. Well, one day she tricked him. And when she was with him, she screamed and yelled and made it look as if he was doing something inappropriate, which he was not. Well, when Potiphar found out about this, even though it was all a lie, poor Joseph was now in a pickle. So he had been successful until he was sabotaged. He was tricked by Potiphar's wife. So what happens to him now? Well, he is now, oh no, ejected into prison, into the Pharaoh's prison. Things are not looking good. He's been in a well, then he was on a good note, and now he's in prison. But while he's in prison, the prison warden sees that everything he seems to do also is very successful. So in fact, in prison, he is put in charge. He's actually put in charge in prison. He's risen again to this position of respect. Well, that's kind of crazy. While he's there, he's put in charge of two prisoners who were the Pharaoh's prisoners, people that worked with the Pharaoh who he was not very happy with at the time, and he put them in prison. And Joseph happened to hear them telling about some dreams that they had had, and of course he's a dreamer himself, and he told them he could interpret their dreams and tell them what they meant. So he listened to the dream of the baker and of the cupbearer, and he told them what their dreams meant, which turned out to be true. So he helped interpret the dreams of these other folks. Now, that's going to lead us into some other situations in the future, but where we find him now is in prison, in charge, but helping some people interpret their dreams. Now, you might say, how does all this happen to him? He gets sold in slavery. What is it that keeps him going? He's not despairing in this. He's away from home, but he's not despairing. Well, the reason he's not despairing is, on the flip side of my little strip here, it says God. The Bible tells us through all of this, God was with Joseph. God was with Joseph and gave him success in everything he did. Now, I've got Joseph and God on different sides of this strip right now, but I'm going to do something, a little trick to help us remember that God was always with Joseph through all of this story. I'm going to take the strip and I'm going to twist it, and once I've twisted it, I'm going to put the two ends together. I'm going to grab a little piece of tape and I'm going to tape the strip together. Now, it might look kind of unusual, but what I want to show you and how it will help us remember that through this crazy story of Joseph's life, God was with Joseph, helping him to be successful. If you start and you look where Joseph is written, I'm going to follow my finger all the way around this, and I come to God. This is a very special kind of little loop, and you'll notice it only has one side. Before, Joseph and God were on different sides. No, what we want to remember is that Joseph and God were together. God was on Joseph's side. And if you follow your finger all the way around, you can never get to another side of this loop. There's only one side, and God was on Joseph's side. So remember that as we continue with the story next week. Now you want to remember to pray with your fingers through the week. Thumb, people closest to you, your family and friends. Your pointer finger for community helpers, your teachers, firefighters, the mailmen, police, those people in our community that are helpers. Your tall finger is for the leaders of our country to make good decisions. Our ring finger is for the sick and the lonely and the sad, to remember them in our prayers. And last but not least, we want to remember ourselves. Okay? So have a good week, and we'll be back with Joseph next Friday.